playthrough of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, the HD version on Nintendo Switch. Just publishing this on Discord. There we go. I'm a bit on a tight schedule. I only have 2 hours to stream, counting from now, so if I want to put in some good progress, let's go. 1 second is 1 drip of the coffee pot. Let's hurry it up. Shh! Silence! Now I see, it's all becoming clear. What's clear? Sparry! Truth has once again been elegantly revealed to me. What we have here is a judge and a prosecutor. Coffee maniac at that. Am I correct? Well, yes, that's right. Ha! Not bad. Not bad at all. You're the first person that's ever been able to penetrate my secret veil. Well, Sir Prosecutor, let me introduce myself. My name is Look at Me, ace detective and rising star illuminating the heavens. Boy, these two make a perfect pair. They'd either be best friends or they'd tear each other's heads off. I've heard that on the night of the crime you were all alone on security detail. You have heard correctly. My specially made monocle is worth more than 100 Detective Gumshoes. If Detective Gumshoe was worth anything, that is. Why was this guy all by himself anyway? There must be some reason, I'm sure of it. Well then, tell us what this special monocle of yours witnessed. What I witnessed. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. That's when my nemesis, the infamous Mask the Mask, dancingly descended upon me. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police. So you didn't get a clear look at the criminal. My specially made monocle never misses a thing. However, that is limited to things that fall within my own visual range. But of course, that's only natural. I fail to see why the witness seemed so proud of his performance that evening. Well, Sir Old-Timer, let me explain. We are not speaking of any ordinary thief, but of the king of thieves, the great Mask the Mask, my arch-enemy. That is what my instincts and my years of experience tell me. Very well. Proceed with the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. But before that... Ooh, it's hot. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. Ace Attorney Rudy, just dropping by to say hello. Hello, RNG. Just dropping by? Can't stay then. That's nice of you. Oh boy, stuffy nose. You have to leave in about 10 minutes? Oh, okay. No problem. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. That's when my nemesis, the infamous Mask the Mask, dancingly descended upon me. Yeah. Press for more detail. So that would be 1 o'clock on the morning of the 12th, correct? That's an impressive deduction, Sir Lawyer. You were on security duty that night. Where exactly were you at the time? Penetrating question. I was in the basement warehouse near the computer. Near the computer, huh? So then, you weren't trying to remain hidden, I take it. Up to this point, I have tried to remain concealed while waiting for the thief. Yeah, he said the same thing yesterday, too. Gumshoe also said that they've never spotted the thief at the crime scenes before. Precisely. That is precisely why I chose not to hide last night. I knew that by not concealing myself, I would be putting pressure on the thief. Looks like the thief was the one applying pressure. On your pigeony head, that is. In any case. That's when my nemesis, the infamous Mask the Mask, dancingly descended upon me. Dancingly? Dancingly descended? From where exactly? Well, from the entrance, I suppose. Where else? So in actuality, he neither danced nor descended. Someone please save me. So how is it that you didn't notice the thief? My eyes were looking for the thief's shadow while my ears listened for his footfalls. But even so, the dastardly criminal managed to sneak up on me. It can only be due to his subtly camouflaged cape and soft-soled shoes. I hereby WA stunts. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. You didn't see the criminal's face when that happened? Well, that's the difficult part. How should I put it? I saw his mask, that's all that I can recall. That's not very solid as far as testimony goes. However, fortunately I had my third monocle, security camera, at the ready. It captured his image perfectly. This should be sufficient, I believe. Well, as long as this photo is authentic, I don't see a problem here. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have a problem with the photo? Gonna do like him. Good then, let's continue with the testimony. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. Attacked and knocked unconscious, and you weren't able to do a thing? That's certainly some very impressive detective work. Well, Sir Lawyer, have you ever been suddenly struck on the head? Huh? Well, actually, yes, by a fire extinguisher. And what happened? I was knocked out. And you lost your memory, too. You see, you have no right to look down on me then, do you? The only reason I didn't lose my memory was because I have more brains to begin with. He may have brains, but the wiring to the self-reflection part seems to be severed. In any case, that was how I was knocked senseless. And then 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police. The emergency phone that's in the basement warehouse, I suppose. How did he know that it was Mask the Mask if he didn't have his full attire on him? Looks like it was torn off of some clothing. I'm gonna save before I try to present anything. No, that's not it. Gotta reload. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Knocked at me out during the crime with a blow to the back of the head. Well, there's no contradiction there, it seems. I'm not sure. Could it be? No. When I awoke, he was gone. How? Yeah. How was the brooch torn off the clothing? If there was not like more to the fight than he snuck up on me, knocked me on the back of the head, and then I fainted, and then when I came back to my senses, he was gone. That's a contradiction, I should think. Ah, there we go. Yeah. There had to be more to the fight for the thing to have been torn off his clothes. Mr. Ant-Me, could you take a look at this with that special monocle of yours? Aha, this belongs to the criminal mastermind, my arch-nemesis, Mask the Mask. It is, in point of fact, Mask the Mask's brooch. It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse. I wonder how that happened. Ha, elementary, my dear lawyer. Obviously, it wasn't glued on well enough. Glued on? Not quite. It clearly shows signs of having been ripped off a piece of clothing. Ripped off? Aha! We can only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night, but there was only one other person that night on the site. That's the only thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have a struggle with the thief. The only person that was on security duty that night. You, Detective Ant-Me. So things can't have gone down exactly how you just described them. Detective Ant-Me, you must have fought with the thief that night. So why did you lie in your testimony to the court? Witness, giving false testimony is a serious crime. No, wait just a moment, Sir Oldtimer. Don't talk to me like I'm living in a nursing home. I just remembered, Your Honor. I was just confused because I've been dealing with so many cases lately. The true measure of a man is... Ah, shit. I skipped. Nick, you can only handle one case at a time, isn't that right? You talk too much. Witness, so are you now saying that you and the thief fought? Hold on. That's quite enough. Your Honor? Excuse me? Save the big questions for the testimony. That's one of my rules. Indeed, I understand. Look at me. Agree completely. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, look at me cannot be so easily discombobulated. Wow, that's a big mouthful of a word. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed the weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but there were not enough. His first blow struck true. Bam! And that's all she wrote. Yeah, I guess by that he means that he only struck once. The first one was enough, probably. So in the end, you did catch a glimpse of Mask the Mask, correct? It was during his third crime that he struck me from behind. It seems that my memory has become a tad jumbled, so to speak. Well, that's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case. That can't be good. A fight with the thief. Cross-examination. Indeed, it's true that I looked away from the... Why did the music change, by the way? It's true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. What for? So why did you look away from the door anyway? In addition to the camera, I had prepared a variety of other sensors as well. The alarm on one of those had gone off, so I had to check the data. That's why I went to the computer, elegantly of course. So you were momentarily vulnerable when you were working on the computer. What should I do? Should I ask some more questions? Well, I'm curious about that sensor. What kind of sensors are you talking about? There are other places in the basement that someone could enter and exit from. There are air conditioner ducts, sewer pipes, and a cat door as well. I hooked up heat-detecting infrared and ultraviolet sensors to each of them. That's a lot of hardware. Was it all yours? Lower Taylor department store was kind enough to provide the monitoring hardware. Naturally, the security camera that took the photo belongs to them as well. In other words, he couldn't have rigged the equipment, huh? Has that cleared up any doubts you had about me, Sir Lawyer? However, look at me cannot be so easily discombobulated. Discombobulated? What does that mean? Discombobulated. Young people these days, they really irritate me. It means... how should I explain that? Someone who is that thing is someone who has, like, lost his composure or something. Something like that, or at least that's how I understand it. You allow perfectly good old words to die until everyone forgets what they mean. Sorry, but what exactly does it mean anyway? Now I've forgotten. What was I saying? Jeez, it's better than old people who forget what they were saying 5 seconds ago. Well, it looks like we've cleared that up. You can go on with your testimony. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed the weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. What do you mean by weapon from the side? Naturally, that thief had no idea that I, look at me, was hiding in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing by the door to the warehouse. Sword? You mean the sword that was all twisted like a tree branch? Correct. Fortunately for me, the blade was not sharp. Okay, so he is talking about the Shichishito. So the thief armed himself with a sword. And what about yourself, witness? A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities? But of course, in college I was the second in charge of the boxing club. I'm sorry if I failed to... yeah, shit. However, my opponent in the ring this time was my arch-nemesis Mask. This guy is a real piece of work. His first blow struck true, bam, and that's all she wrote. Yeah, well. No. That's not what I meant to do. At which... My question is, at which moment did he rip off the brooch of holding its cape off his clothes? True gentleman fights only with his own fist, but they were not enough. Well, they say approximately 1 a.m. Yeah, because I saw the time on the timestamp on the photo, and I was like, wait, what? That's too early, but no. Hold on, give me a minute. To avoid getting too drowsy, like last night, I'm gonna turn on my fan. Blow some air in my face. Keep me frosty, so to speak. It's my all-important badge. It shows that I'm a defense attorney. Yeah, really useful. Well, I didn't press on that one. Can you tell us a little more about what happened? My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was powericious. Powericious? I assumed the at me fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was checkmate by my opponent and bested me. What do I do now? Should I ask more about this? You were blinded? How so? So what was this flash of light that blinded you? I was bathed in the golden light. That seems to come from the statue of the woman. The
statue of Amy Faye, I'm guessing. Well, that wasn't very much help at all. Well, what do you think, Nick? Well, there's one thing that I'm absolutely sure of now. Yeah, what is it? This look at me guy is definitely hiding something. But why? I think I'm starting to figure out what really happened that night. And about the true nature of this detective. Yeah, can I ask a bit more about the computer? There was that option. So did that computer belong to Lord Taylor as well? Correct. Well, except for the program that manages the data. That was specially designed by me, look at me. In that case, he could have easily manipulated the data. What's wrong, Sir Lawyer? Great powers of deduction yet rarely make sense. Shrouded in mystery, seems to know me somehow. Knocked Anthony out during this crime with a blow to the back of the head. If he was struck on the back of the head, it doesn't make sense that he was like... that's probably wrong. I didn't save before trying that out too. Yeah, I lost some points on that one. Whoops, that didn't go so well. His first blow struck true. Bam, and that's all she wrote. And I still didn't save. Well, let me save here, perhaps. Right. Well, I know that he's hiding something, but... Yeah, I've already been through all that. Well, I didn't ask about that one. Ah, fuck's sake. Okay, there we go. Sorry, but that's a trade secret I really can't say anymore. Yeah, about the anime fighting style, but I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to the wall. That way no one can get behind you. Ah, there you go. That's it. That's the anime fighting style. Yeah, because he's supposed to have been knocked on the back of the head. Of course it's important. We've learned the detective's secret technique after all. Yes, indeed. I'll remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone late at night. Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out. Now then, witness, we'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony. I put my back to the wall to fight, but the thief's blow landed upon my third eye. Well, what do you think, Nick? Well, there's... hold on. I had to present the sword on that one. That's a lie. Detective Atme, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards. What fun this is, Sir Lawyer. It is truly a pleasure to cross swords with you. And now once again you have thrown down the gauntlet at my armored feet. I believe this is what you said yesterday. No, the coward must have wormed his way in through somewhere besides the door. Then my arch-nemesis struck me on the head from behind with this gruesome item here. From behind, huh? But just now you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you were hit on the head. It seems I've made another mistake. Detective Atme, that's not the only strange part of your testimony. What do you mean by that? For example, the very fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were going to help with security. Jesus, I myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. That's wrong.
Objection.
Who could that be with that deep voice? To err is human, to forgive divine. Ooh. That's a big sentence right there. Humans aren't machines, they have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate, and yes, they even make mistakes. Hey, hold on, it's not as pretty as that. Ooh, that was really black coffee. Yeah. I think coffee that black, even I wouldn't drink. Really, what is it like then? It looked like tar more than anything else. Always chase riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around. Mr. Wright, what exactly is it that you're asserting? Very well, Your Honor. The defense asserts that it wants to save. Before answering. Mr. Atme is no ace detective. This Mr. Atme is a fake. Mr. Atme is Mask. The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective Look Atme's true identity is actually Mask. Yike! Order! Order in the court! Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atme's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scenes, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then, in his last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure. That's because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh please, the explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atme. The truth is that you are in fact Mask. But Mr. Wright, this photo, it clearly shows Mask. The security camera belongs to Lordly Taylor Department Store. What I'm wondering about when I look at the mask that he's wearing is where does he put the nose though behind the mask? Unless the nose is fake. Shouldn't have been able to manipulate it. He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed up as a thief and stole the urn. So the ace detective is actually an ace thief? Is this true, witness? Well, he's not about to admit it. Aha. The mask's MO is pure genius, and so am I. Look at me, this detective. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I am impressed, Sir Lawyer. What? Witness, you're admitting it? Nick, now's your chance. Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. It would be too easy. No way. There's no way. Oops. Godo Blend, number 102, my personal favorite. Mr. Godo! Ace Detective is actually an ace thief. I smell a best-selling novel. There's only one problem, it simply isn't true. But Mr. Godo, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt, Mr. Wright. this detective really is a thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face. Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there. This court would like to see this decisive proof you have, quickly. Huh? Oh, yes, of course, what's the big rush? Well, that's the thing, I don't have proof. Hold on. Could it be him? Is it possible? I'm not sure. Can I prove it? Do I even have evidence? Damn it. Look at me, mask the mask. Look at me, mask the mask. Are you alright, Nick? Atme looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can. But can I really do it? Decisive evidence that proves Mr. Look at Me is in fact Mask the Mask has yet to be found. Well, I'm veering more towards the latter. Proof? Of course I've got nothing. Ha! Just what I thought. Or at least I think I don't have it. A man has to hold his head up high, no matter how bad things get, after all. I see. I thought perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion. This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is the thief. Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again. It's no good, I'm just not ready yet. But are you going to just give up and let us lose this? So you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer? I can't think of a counterattack at all. It seems a cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness has lifted. Mr. Godo, if you have anything... wait, what? Hold it, what? Who? Who are you? That doesn't really matter right now, does it? Miss Delight, what are you doing here? Nicky boy, the thing you've been looking for. I think I found it. You mean, that bag? No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well, that's the sacred urn. Nick, it's the urn. Order! You, madam! That urn, where did you find it? You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants Hayes' detectives. Look at me. Oh, Bessie, you're the best. Sacred urn, updated in the court record. Found in the office of Look at Me, has pink splotches all over it. Well, that's proof enough. So it was indeed in the bag. Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atme? Even you are going to have a hard time weaseling out of this one.
Objection!
Ha, pathetic. Mr. Godo, do you have something you wish to say? Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad. You're still denying that Mr. Atme was involved? Before casting aspersions at Detective Atme, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree Delight, is that correct? Yes, what about it? Ha, how charming. The length that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring. What are you insinuating? As the wife of the criminal, you could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere, including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it. What? I just brought it here from the detective's office. Please, madam. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more could only compound the tragedy we have been witness to. You're wrong. I would never do such a thing. Miss Delight, please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense into these people. There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atme Detective Agency. Fingerprints on the urn. But that's the thing. There's something that bothers me. When he reached into the bag before Look At Me walked into his office, he said the surface of what was inside was smooth and it was hard. But that urn is all cracked though. Would that qualify as smooth? I'm hesitating between two things. Testify about what I saw. I felt something hard and smooth inside that bag at his office. But if it's really what was in his office before, then my or Phoenix's fingerprints should be on it. I can prove where the urn was by the fingerprints on it. Fingerprints, eh? Oh, come now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on the urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I am always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. And so is the culprit. Mask the Mask. On every picture you see him, he's always wearing white gloves, so unfortunately my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyway. Nick, what are you going to do now? I've come too far to turn back now. Anthony must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday, and there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. So I'm gonna have to show the profile of the person. Yeah, his profile. Take that! So what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway? Mr. Atme, do you recall the events of yesterday? Hey, Nick, come on, open it up. Hey, wait a minute, we can't just open his private property. Don't be such a fuddy-duddy, this is an important investigation. Well, what's in there? Hang on a sec. Taking it out now. Whatever it is, it feels kinda hard and smooth. Well, hello there! And then that's when he walked in. It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at that time, but I did touch what was inside. What? You touched it? And I remember it very well. It was smooth and hard. Well, that was just... Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Atme's office.
Objection!
Well, even if your fingerprints are on the urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it? Of course it does. What did you say? It's not what I say, but what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said. I polished it until it was just about glowing. But yeah, but still, the surface would be full of cracks, so does that qualify as smooth? I mean, it's just semantic, but I thought maybe I could make it look more valuable. Yeah, right. Yeah, so that means that there couldn't have been any other fingerprints on it. If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was yesterday at the Atme Detective Agency. Ha! This blend, Godot Blend number 107. I've decided it's a little too bitter after all. Order! I accept the defense's request. Bailiff, take this urn and wait. Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that. No need, you say? Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn. What are you saying? Because, as a matter of fact, I expected my fingerprints to not be on there. Because, I don't know, it just feels too easy that it would be him. I mean, I said that earlier, like he is Mask the Mask only because that threw suspicions off my client and onto him instead. Yes, I've finally broken him down. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. This guy is nuttier than a fruitcake. You see, it was me all along. I am the one and only Mask the Mask. I hope you all enjoyed my little performance. That was too easy. I don't believe it. Well, Mr. Godo, what's Mr. Atme's condition? He's still in the lobby, laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be. Well, it looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief. Nick, you were right after all. Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight really wasn't the thief. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight. It's too easy. It can't be. Yeah, I thought so. You're wrong! Wrong, I tell you. I mean, not exactly wrong so much, but actually not right is what I was really trying to say. Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening. The thief, the sneaky, odious thief who's been stealing all the treasures. It's me! I'm him! I'm the one you want. I'm the thief, I tell you. So do it! Pronounce me guilty! Please! I don't know what kind of kangaroo court you all think this is, but... The true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass judge. What are you talking about? I already confessed. I'm the thief, I tell you. Which blend is it this time? Mr. Godo, don't just stand there and drinking coffee. Ha, hey there, Mr. Thief. Yes, sir. If you're really a man, then clean up your own mess. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I just don't have any idea what you mean. If you are Master Mask, then prove it. That's what it means. Yes, sir, I'll be happy to. He says he'll be happy too, Nick. It's kinda cute, he's 100% committed to his fantasy. Good boy, just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man. I know that. I won't fail, I swear. Okay then, talk. We're all listening. Oh well, let's all have a listen to this confession. Mask the Mask's identity. The truth is, I've been Mask the Mask all along. I mean, can't prove that I'm not actually Mask the Mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all. I donned my costume that night and dancingly descended upon the scene of the crime. Look, you can see right there in the photo, that's me. As for my brooch, I snagged it on the door handle and it got torn off, that's all. I don't like the direction this trial has taken, but this is how every trial goes, at least with me anyway. Huh. You're doing great. Stop it, Mr. Godo, you're embarrassing me. Like I said, you're only going to get one chance to testify, alright? But if you make it through this with flying colors, I'll keep my promise too. I'll make sure you stay locked up in prison as the one and only true Master Mask. Thanks so much, Mr. Godo. I'll do my best. Alright, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid it's time for the cross-examination. But there's something else that bothers me too. I mean, I feel convinced that Atme is not Mask the Mask. I feel pretty convinced of that. And that he took the blame only because he didn't want people to find out that my fingerprints were not on the urn. For some reason, which I just can't figure out right now. Is it possible that it's really the woman who is Mask the Mask, which is what I had like suspected at the beginning, and he fell for her just like Larry Butts has, and he wants to protect her maybe in some way? The truth is, I've been Mask the Mask all along. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually Mask the Mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen after all. I don't think I have to press on anything. Yeah, that letter gives you an alibi. Mr. Delight, I believe you've seen this before, correct? Ah, that's... what is it? A blackmail letter. That's what it looks like from the contents. Blackmail? According to this letter, at 1 o'clock in the morning on the night of the crime, Mr. Ron Delight was ordered to go to the offices of KB Security, and then he's gonna ask me, well, can you prove that he was really there? And then I can show his wallet. 1 o'clock in the morning? Correct, which is around the time the security camera photo was taken. So if the defendant was at KB Security at 1 o'clock in the morning, then that proves that he has a watertight alibi. No! Furthermore, considering the distance between Lordly Taylor and KB Security, it would have taken 30 minutes to get there by car, according to Larry anyway. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have anything to say? And stop drinking that coffee! Come on, Mr. Thief. Don't let this guy beat you. Tell him why he's wrong. You're the only one who calls me thief, Mr. Godot. Alright, I'll try. I'll do it. I will. He's really got Mr. Delight all worked up. Yeah, he's like a kid at his first day of school. Mr. Wright, it's true that I received that blackmail letter, but whether or not I actually went there is a whole different story, right? Oh, sorry if I'm sounding dramatic. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. Ha, that was brilliant. Well, Mr. Wright, it looks like you need some more evidence after all. Stupid kid. Now then, let's see your evidence. The wallet. You went straight to this court that Mr. Delight actually went to KB Security that night. Mr. Delight, this wallet belongs to you, correct? Yes it does. I had lost it somewhere. Mr. Wright, when you find the wallet, you should report it to the police right away. No, you don't understand. This is an important piece of evidence. Evidence? Mr. Delight, when did you first notice that you'd lost your wallet? Let's see, I think it was on the night of the crime. But I know I still had it when Desiree and I went out for dinner. This wallet was found at approximately 1 AM at KB Security headquarters. What? Surely you're not serious? Yes, I am serious. This proves that Mr. Delight was in fact at KB Security that night. No! Huh. This is indeed sad. Romanticists are blind to the reality that lies before them. Huh? What does that mean? Why did Mr. Delight drop his wallet at KB Security? What purpose did it serve? None, if it was an accident. Perhaps it was dropped by his wife to create a false alibi for her dear husband instead. Sorry, but Mr. Delight probably dropped it himself when he went to use this. The key card to KB Security's CEO's office. CEO's office? What's wrong? No snappy comebacks? The fact is that Mr. Delight entered the CEO's office around 1 o'clock that night. No! That's a lot of coffee. Order! So when the theft of the urine occurred, the defendant was at KB Security. It looks like a perfect case for the defense. Objection! You may see it as a perfect case, Judge, but to me... Well, let's just say that my Godot blend number 107 impresses me a lot more. What are you trying to say? You said the thief was being blackmailed by the CEO of a security company, but did you actually investigate the CEO at all? No, I guess not. Accusing a man of blackmail with no proof? I'm not sure what I think of that. Not sure what I think of that, at least I know what I think of you. Good point. I'm not sure what I think of it myself. You claim that the defendant entered the CEO's office, but you will need at least one witness to corroborate your claim, Mr. Wright. Nick, I think we're going to have to track down the CEO guy. No, we don't have to track down the CEO at all. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? There is someone else who can testify. This is the person who can testify that the key card was used at 1 AM that night. Larry Butts, right? Who is this useless-looking young man? You don't remember him, Your Honor? Not exactly, but just looking at his picture makes the bile start to rise in my throat. It looks like he doesn't remember the case from 2 years ago. He probably blocked out that memory on purpose. Anyway, this man was working as a guard at KB Security that night. Oh. The question at hand is this key card. Yep, that's the key card they use in the building I work. According to the serial... according to the serial, it has access to the CEO's office. You need it to get into that room, and every time you use that card, it leaves a record. Yeah, it tells you exactly who entered the room and when. As you can see, there's no need to investigate the CEO of KB Security. We should be able to discover the truth simply by analyzing this keycard's data. Wah! Well, Mr. Godo, the name of the CEO of KB Security is Kane Bullard. Bullard? I was unable to contact him directly, but I got the keycard data here. So what does it show? Each keycard has its own serial number, and they leave detailed records of their use. According to this data, this card was used at 1 AM on the morning of the crime. Keycard updated in the court record. But that means it can't be Mr. Delight dressed as Mask in this photo. Well, it's enough proof to throw doubt on the fact that it would have been him on that photo, but it could still have been someone else using his keycard though. And I still think of his wife. Ha, it looks like you're right. 2 minutes isn't even enough time to brew a good cup of joe. So then, Ron Delight was clearly in the office of KB Security's CEO at the time of the crime. The prosecutor's office is ready to admit that fact. Therefore, it's impossible for him to be Mask. Yeah, right. Good job, you did it, Nick. That's enough. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief. He already said that. What's wrong, Your Honor? I'm ready to pass judgment, but before I do that, do you have any further objections? No, Your Honor. Very well. I bet he is going to want to testify again. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight. Oh, really? How? Court is now adjourned. How? What? I thought this case was supposed to be going on longer. Nick, you did it. You were right after all. Actually, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself. Nicky boy. Oh, Miss Delight. I knew you could do it. I believed in you all along, Nicky boy. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Oh, shucks. Thanks, Miss Delight. I just know I'm blushing. Congratulations, Mr. Nick. Oh, Pearls. I've got a bad feeling about this. Who is this woman? Oh, she's nobody. She's just, You're blushing. How dare you do this in front of Mystic Maya? And here we go again. Hold on. I just want to put on an extra layer of clothes. Because I'm not feeling too hot right now. There we go. Alright. Should be ashamed of yourself. Ouch! She slapped me. Pearly. This woman is Miss Desiree Delight. She's our client's wife. Mr. Nick. Yes? You're even worse than I thought, going behind the back of your own client. No, you've got it all wrong. I'll never forgive you. Ow, a double slap. Well, anyway, all's well that ends well, right? We got the sacred urn back and the thief has been caught. You're so right, and it's all thanks to Nicky Boy here. But actually, it was you, Miss Delight, that brought us our urn back. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, please, you're embarrassing me. If we won the case, then why does this guy still look so glum? But I am the thief. Actually, what's the point now? What is it, honey? I did my best for you, Ronnie. I know that, and I appreciate it, Desi. But the thing is, come on, give the kid some time. What's that? What's that? What's that? It's just got a little touch of the blues. You know about feeling blue, right, amigo? Mr. Godo, what are you doing here, amigo? It can't be that guy, the cowboy from the first game, can it? The guy who was always drinking off his flask of alcohol. Like, always started drinking booze. And maybe now he's replaced booze with coffee? Oh, come on, I just came here to say thanks to my newest buddy. You, Mr. Trite, maybe you should learn my name before you call me buddy. Well, playtime is over, huh? Early this morning, the body of Kane Bullard was discovered. Kane Bullard? Where have I heard that name before? Isn't that the name of the CEO of KB Security? Wait, body? The estimated time of death was 1 a.m. on October 12th. 1 a.m. on October 12th? You don't mean... That's right, amigo. At the same time that the cheap little urn was being stolen, the CEO of KB Security was being murdered. So then, what are you doing here? Oh, come on, you figured it out already, haven't you, amigo? Or have you already forgotten about that piece of info I helped you out with today? Helped me out? What? On October 12th at 1 o'clock in the morning, Ron Delight was in the CEO's office, the scene of the murder. After getting that blackmail letter, he must have been imbued with utter rage. What are you saying, imbued with rage? Come on, don't tell me you didn't know. Ron Delight was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. An employee of KB Security? Looks like the alibi that saved him from being convicted as a thief is going to be the news that gets him hanged. Kind of an anti-alibi. No way! He can't be the thief because he was at the murder scene when the murder occurred. No, that's a lie. It can't be true. Oh, but I am a thief, I tell you. Ron Delight, you're going back to prison again. This time, the charge is much more serious. This time, you'll be tried for murder. What? This can't be. This is impossible. I'm looking forward to another exciting showdown, Mr. Trite. You and I aren't through with each other yet. Surely you won't back down from a challenge. You've never been a coward. Mr. Nick, is there something personal between you two? I've returned from the depth of hell to battle with you. At least let me have some fun while I'm here. This guy, who the heck is he? He may be quiet, but he's the most dangerous enemy I've ever faced. Well then, time to say goodbye to Mr. Delight. Nick, how could this be happening? Right in front of our very eyes, our client has been arrested for murder, and the one who established his presence at the scene was me. Yeah, Ronnie! Arrested for murder on the very same day he's declared innocent of larceny. What the heck is going to happen next? Well, we know that the card was used over there, but we don't know for sure that he was at the murder scene. You know, I'm glad we found the urn and all, but poor Mr. Delight got arrested again. Well, supposedly Mr. Delight was in the CEO's office when the murder occurred. No way, Jose, I don't buy it. But the one who proved that Mr. Delight was there was Mr. Nick himself, at least from what I can understand. Looks like you did too good of a job this time, Nick. Well, how about we get started looking into the KB security murder? I think I'm going to head back to Kurain Village for a little while, if that's alright. Sure, but why? I'm going to bring the secret urn back and have some people take a look at it. Why are the letters back in order, by the way? It was not supposed to spell... Amy. It's supposed to spell I am. But then the box in which it was put for transportation was found on the ground, so it's quite possible that the thing had been dropped, and maybe the pieces came loose again, and so whoever put it back together... Yeah, the fact that there is paint on like the edges of several pieces kind of shows that that paint that's on there was put on the vase when it was in pieces and when it was not whole, again. It was not whole anymore. No, Mystic Maya, you should stay here. I want you two to spend some special quality time together, full of love and happiness. Pearls is so caught up in their fantasy she forgot there's a murder to solve. Secret urn given to Pearls. Now remember, no fighting, okay? She's gone. Okay, Nick, time to get going on this murder investigation. An old movie poster, apparently it was the first movie that made Mia cry when she saw it a long time ago. She watched it recently, so she cried all night too, which I guess is why it's back up on the wall. I know, okay, well it's the same descriptions. I don't have to reread through all of them. What to do? So what do we do now? Isn't it obvious? We should get out there and investigate the murder. Well, first we need to find out exactly where KB Security is located. Hey, why don't we ask Miss Delight? She should know. Besides, I want to ask her some stuff about motorcycles. Motorcycles? You're not thinking of getting one, are you? I'm not the same little Maya who used to be happy with her dinky little bike, Nicky boy. Speaking of asking around, I've got a few questions of my own for Mr. Delight. Okay, well, let's make sure to go to the detention center too. You must be relieved we got the secret urn back, huh? You bet, but there's something a little different about it. Yeah, I noticed. Don't, at me. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, take a look at this. It clearly says I am on the urn in the poster. But the urn we got back says Amy, like it always used to. Oh yeah, you're right. Plus the base has pink splotches on it now. I'm sure they weren't there before. Maya doesn't know, but 1 year ago when the urn was broken, the repairer accidentally turned Mystic Amy's name into I am. And that repairer was one mechanically unskilled little Pearls. But still, I don't remember ever seeing pink splotches on it. Is it possible that urn is a fake? I'm sure Pearls will find out about that once she gets back to Kurain Village. Yeah, I suppose. Now that I think about it, Maya hasn't been back to Kurain Village in a long time. So I guess people still go to Kurain Village to do their training, right? Yep, if you want to become a spirit medium, you need to undergo severe training. So why haven't you been training lately, Maya? Well, lately I've been thinking of heading to a channeling dojo to do just that. Channeling dojo, huh? Sounds pretty serious, whatever that is. If you're going to train, you have to be serious, otherwise real tragedies can happen. Is what happened last year still bothering you? That murder in our village. It happened because the power of channeling was misused. When a medium uses the Kurain technique, she temporarily loses her own will. So when an especially strong spirit is summoned, the spirit medium can get taken over and even forced to commit terrible crimes. What's worse, in those cases, the spirit medium has no memory of what happened. Bang. That murder, it wasn't your fault, Maya. You know that, don't you? I suppose not, but I guess I'm still a bit shaken up, that's all. It sounds like being the master of Kurain is going to be a heavy responsibility. Let's go there first. I already told you it's not me! Sad, pitiful whine that tapers into silence. Sounds like they're interrogating Mr. Delight right now. Man, and we don't have enough time as it is. Yeah, well, I guess the police are going crazy just like we are. Yesterday they thought he was just a thief, but now they got a murder case on their hands. I guess you're right, that guard over there looks a bit on edge too. Come on, we'll just have to come back later. Okay, let's go check out some other place, Nick. Mm-hmm. I wish I didn't have to yawn all the time like this. Jeez. Oh, Nicky boy, Maya, Miss Delight. All I wanted to do was help my dear Roni. Yeah, but I guess it ended up hurting this case. Don't say that, Nick. She doesn't need your help beating yourself up. Hey, Nicky boy, please. Please help Ronnie. He's not a killer, I swear. My Ronnie wouldn't hurt a fly. Alright, I'll poke around and see what I can find out. Really? Are you serious? I'm so happy. I knew asking for your help was the right thing to do. I don't know what I can do to help anymore. I had no idea Miss Delight had such a vulnerable side. Listen carefully, Nicky boy. My Ronnie would never ever kill anyone. It's just not in him. I don't think he would either, Nick. Yeah, but you have to admit he's got a bit of a temper to him. It's not that hard to imagine him just snapping and screaming, "Please die!" He would never say that. Anyway, Miss Delight, he might not be a killer, but he's still going around saying that he's a thief. I already told you that's just a fantasy for him. Miss Delight, I hate to say it, but you're the one living in a fantasy world. What? How dare you say that to me, Nicky boy? I know everything about our Ronnie. We don't have any secrets between us. Ronnie isn't the thieving type. He's so honest that he wouldn't even sneak a nap. So honest that he wouldn't even steal a glance. A thief? Ha, the very idea. I guess I just don't get it. Huh? Get what? I just can't understand how they can be so different and yet be such a happy couple. Yeah, they sure are different. Come on now, Nicky boy, it's not that mysterious, is it? It was love at first sight, for me anyway. What, for you? That's it at me. I hate these kinds of people more than anything. You mean ace detectives? No, I'm fine with ace detectives. Oh, so then you must mean thieves. No, they're alright too. I just hate thieves that pretend to be ace detectives. There's nothing I hate more than cowardly men. By the way, why did you go to Detective Atme's office anyway? Well, as the trial went on, I started to get more and more anxious. I went there and to try and find out more about the real criminal. The real criminal? Yes, obviously the real Master Mask is not my Ronnie, right? Yeah. And Detective Atme knew more about Master Mask than anyone else. He mentioned him on the Great People Around Town segment on TV. So then, you went there to ask him some questions? That's right, I'll do whatever it takes to save my man. His secretary said the ace detective isn't in right now. But I forced my way past her and into his hideout. I wouldn't exactly call that office of his a hideout. That bag was sitting right there on top of the table. Oh yeah, we saw that back there yesterday too. There's nothing lower than someone who would try to pin a crime on someone else. KB Security, where is it? Miss Delight, do you know about KB Security? Don't be silly, of course I do, that's where my Ronnie works. So she thinks he still works there, huh? And yet, according to what we heard today, he got fired. Yeah, it was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. Ron quit, he doesn't work there anymore. Oh, or he quit, he wasn't fired. KB Security is only about 20 minutes away by motorcycle, that is. Larry told me it takes 30 minutes by car. Well, I have to admit I tend to fly pretty fast on my bike. To make it to KB Security that fast, are you sure you aren't literally flying? Why don't I give you a ride sometime? Or better yet, how about now? No, I'll pass, thanks. Why don't you just tell us where it is and we'll go ourselves? What a scaredy cat you are, Nick. Miss Delight told us the location of KB Security. Okay, let's head over there right away, Nick. So was it really love at first sight when you first met Mr. Delight? Well, maybe not at first sight, but Ronnie saved my life. Saved your life? I was at work one day when two robbers suddenly rushed in. Well, I'm not the kind to just curl into a little bag in a corner, so I fought back. Robbers? Yes, they took me hostage. I was so frightened. They were both carrying these huge knives, and I broke down into tears. Yeah, I would too if I were in that situation. Oh, I think I get it. Did Mr. Delight come running to save you? Yes, exactly. I remember he looked so handsome in that guard uniform of his. Hold on a minute. I'm thirsty. And drowsy. There we go. Please, stop it! He screamed. I could see the robber's faces turn pale. That high-pitched shriek of his does have a surprisingly strong effect on people. Then, crying and swinging his arms like crazy, he attacked the two robbers. All by himself, he came to save me, a total stranger. All by himself. He was so scared that he was crying and shaking, but he still risked his life for me. Wow, that's a great story. Yes, he may not look it, but in a tough situation, there's no one better. That's why I fell in love with him like I did. That's so romantic. I fell in love too, I guess. Nick, I hope you'll do the same for me if I ever get taken hostage. That's already happened. With Maya, that possibility always seems to loom in the not-so-distant future. Why do I keep yawning? I hate that. I hate feeling that way. So I guess this is where it all went down, huh? The walls in here look thick, just like you'd expect in the CEO's office. What has that got to do with anything? Hey, it's you guys. Oh, it's Detective Gumshoe. Today was a real train wreck for you guys, huh? Show us, pal. The prosecutor made real fools out of us. Yeah, I feel for you. Wow, that's not like you. Usually he's the, oh, that was great. You guys got what you deserved, pal. Ho, 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 ho. Or something to that effect. Do I really sound like that to you, pal? If the gumshoe fits. Well, anyway. The point is, I can't tell when someone puts their heart into their jobs. And I can't sympathize when things don't go your way. Sometimes I feel like wrong is the only way things go for us detectives. Wow, I had no idea Detective Gumshoe was such a nice guy. Now, if this little love fest is over, maybe we can start investigating. What happened? Detective Gumshoe, tell us what you know about the murder. Okay, but the thing is, I'm really not supposed to. Hey, come on. What about how we put our hearts into our work? Things are really working against us right now, and we need help. Okay, I'll tell you. Just don't start crying on me, okay, pal? Okay, I won't cry on you, pal. The victim's name is Kane Bullard. Bullard? He was the CEO of KB Security and a pretty big fella in his own right. His corpse was discovered at 9 this morning. His estimated time of death was 1 in the morning on October 12th. The cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, probably an object in this room. It happened at exactly the same time that the Mask was stealing the urn, huh? So why did it take almost an entire day to discover the body? There's a good explanation for that one. Bullard's body was stashed away inside that safe. Safe? Well, it is pretty big. Nobody had heard from him, and when they opened the safe this morning, out he came. Oh, so the body fell out. That white string must be the shape from when he fell out. I think we still need some more information about Mr. Billiard. Maybe you could start by getting the man's name right. Detective Atme. So, what happened to Master Mask? He's at the detention center screaming like a madman. Investigate me again! He keeps yelling. No, I didn't mean him. He's not the real thief anyway, right? Oh, you mean that detective Atme? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, that was great. That guy got what he deserved. Ho, 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 ho. Now that's the detective I know and love. Think about it. Atme was always around when a calling card showed up. But he always mysteriously disappeared when the heists took place. I was hiding at a crime scene. Yeah right, that's the lamest thing I've ever heard. That's how you just knew he was a thief. That would explain how he was able to retrieve the stolen items he keeps bragging about. Yeah, he just did that to make himself look like a great detective, that's all. But there's this one thing I can't figure out about his first heist. His first? Yeah, the Seer of Emanon case. There was a witness on that one. A witness? Here, I saved the newspaper clipping. Since the thief is already under arrest, you guys can, like, keep it or something. Hey, this guard here. Haven't I seen him somewhere before? It's pretty small, so it's kind of hard to see, but now that she mentions it... An article on Mask the Mask's first heist. Oh, that prosecutor, I really don't like that guy. The way he used our own evidence to do that to Mr. Delight. Yeah, I think he did it that way just cause he knew it would hurt more. That's what my gut tells me anyway. So, who is that Java-addicted masked maniac anyway? Prosecutor Godo is quite the enigma, huh? The thing is, pal, I never even heard of the guy before. He just showed up one day at the prosecutor's office. Came out of nowhere. That's right, he said this was his first case as a prosecutor. And it's true, according to the records anyway, but... No way he's an amateur. He's an Iceman in court, a maverick that gives me goosebumps. Goosebumps? You? Yeah, I knew something was off about him, so I asked around. Nobody would talk to me. They all just turned like the other way. Poor Detective Gumshoe, I had no idea you were so unpopular. Ah, no, that's not what I meant. That Godo guy acts like he knows me and has a grudge against me. I get the feeling he's hiding some kind of dark secret. This is proof that Ron Delight was here at the crime scene when the murder happened. His wallet and his key card, huh? I think we need to ask Mr. Delight some more about those two things. But he'd know how it works, right? If it was cameras or anything like that, if he was seen on a camera. Plus, you'd think that someone like him would know how to maybe avoid the cameras or something like that. Can you excuse me just a moment? I'd like to pee. Sorry about that, but I feel lighter and a lot more comfortable now. Okay, so I asked all the questions. I should examine the place now. Oh, there's a button here. Let's see. Beep, beep, beep. Hey, cut it out. Don't press that. That was pretty funny. I never knew Detective Gumshoe could jump like that. What is that button anyway? It's an emergency buzzer. It says it right there on the panel. Oops, you're right. It's written right there. Nick, how many times have I told you to read the instructions first? This alarm's connected to the basement guard room. It's used to summon security up here. Really? Then it's possible on the night of the crime. Oh, so when the CEO was attacked, you think that maybe he pressed the buzzer? Yeah, I thought about that, so I asked around down there. But they said that the buzzer never went off that night.
Also, we couldn't find any fingerprints on the buzzer.
Sorry, my nose is itchy. Mr. Bullard, the victim, wasn't wearing any gloves, by the way, just so you know. I think we'd better go and talk to that guard about this emergency buzzer. Connected to the basement security guard office. There are no fingerprints on it. Wow, look at that huge framed photo. Tall mountains rising majestically against a dark and cloudy sky. There's a title written on the bottom at the bottom of the photo. The greatest sunrise of my life. This is it? This was his best sunrise? Either this guy didn't get out enough or he had really rotten luck with the weather. Maybe if he had lived a little longer, he would have seen some better days. Doesn't it look like there are scratches on the wall or something like that? Or is it just the pattern, like white pattern that's on the wall that's like that? I don't know why I've got the feeling that the I wanted to call it the painting, that the frame slides down or something. Ew, think about it. That guy was laying in here all night. Yeah, oh by the way, don't bother asking about fingerprints, there were none. Well, somebody opened this safe on the night of the crime, right? Yeah, and so? What if Mr. Bullard's body was hidden in here? It must mean that it was opened by either the killer or the victim, right? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, I got some bad news for you, pal. Are you ready? Okay, shoot. Opening this baby is no piece of cake. There are only a few people who know how to open this safe, pal. Yeah, and everyone that knows how to open this safe had airtight alibis, I checked. Everyone except one, that is. I'm almost afraid to ask. Former security chief, Ron Delight. What? Ron Delight? He was a security chief? Ron, so he knew how to open the safe, huh? Yeah, sorry for raining on your parade there, pal. Check out this big thick binder here. Leave the heavy lifting to me, Nick. Reading a file isn't exactly back-breaking work, just a little hard on the eyes. What did you find out, Nick? This file, it's not about any sort of security operations or anything. This huge file is all about Master Mask. It's filled with info on him. What? What kind of info? It's filled with incredibly detailed information about his methods and the crime scenes. Hey, Nick, look at the last page. It's a list. Let's see. Tier of Emanon, $100,000. This looks like a list of all the treasures that Master Mask sold. So then, $100,000 is the value of the stolen item. I don't know, but that number sounds kind of low to me. I think I'd better secretly make a copy of this list. So the prices of the things he stole were always increasing? This must be the CEO's desk. It's a lot simpler than I would have thought. Hey, that looks like a super soft chair. Let me try it out just for a second. Oh, nice. I feel just like a CEO. Hey, you, whip me up a cup of some really expensive import tea and some scones. Move it. This is the life. The victim sat in that chair just before he was brutally killed, you know. Yeah, what's that thing? These look like some kind of bookshelf rolling cabinet hybrid. I can't get in between these two shelves. Don't strain yourself trying. It looks like the shelves are controlled by a special panel. So I guess it's one shelf at a time, huh? Looks like they're filled with bunches of files. Yeah, files filled with data about security jobs they were hired to handle. It'd be a good night's reading if you've got insomnia. I was hoping for something a little bit more exciting, like UFOs or something. UFOs. this rope. You think it fell out of the safe when it was opened? I don't think so. So you mean... Yeah, I think the string shows where and how the corpse was lying. Isn't that tape, usually? You mean the victim, he was killed by being crushed by the safe door? She can't be serious, can she? What, isn't that everything? I think so. Ah, security room. Oh, wow. Isn't that Larry Butts' jacket over there? That orange one. Wow, this is really something else. For a security guard office, it sure doesn't feel very secure. KB security guard. Uh-oh, I just remembered Larry might be... Hey, Nick, what's up? So he is here. Yo, how's it hanging, dude? And you got my sweet little Maya with you, too. Something tells me he's gonna come up as a witness during the trial the next day. Hi, Larry. Here I was working my fingers to the bone, and in walks an angel. I've got no problems with a daytime date. It's all good. No, that's not what we're here for. We're investigating that Bullard murder case. Huh? Oh yeah, that's right. You're a lawyer, aren't you? He's so hopelessly clueless. What if it's about the murder case, boy? Have I got some good info for you? Really? What is it? Well, I don't mind sharing with my sweet little Maya. But Nick here is a different story. But Larry, I thought you two were old school buddies. That was then, and this is now. Oh boy. Good info. So what's this good info you were talking about, Larry? Hey, I'm a guard, a pro. I can't just give away information for free. You want a bribe? I thought professionals were more, I don't know, honest? Can you talk to him, Maya? Larry, tell us already, what's the good info? Hey, I like that. This kitten has got some claws. Okay, you really want to know? Yes, so tell me. Okay, so the thing is, Ron Delight was an employee here, and naturally, since I'm a pro, I looked into his background. Follow me? Yes, you're a pro. I follow you. Go on. Well, 1 year ago, Ron Delight was fired, and there was no warning at all. It just happened all of a sudden. I know this is a small company, but I think that was pretty awful. I guess he must have done something bad to have gotten fired like that. Like maybe skipping out of work to go pick up hot chicks or something? No, that's just you. So what is it like to be a part-time security guard? Let me tell you, it's tough. Well, you know me, I get by alright, I guess. First, I have to keep my eye on those monitors all the time. Monitors? There are security cameras set in each room around the building. It's really hard. Sometimes I feel like my eyes are gonna fall out. Oh. And if I see something suspicious, I have to contact one of the teams. What teams? The security teams for this company. They're supposedly the best in the business. But I'm no amateur either, so if it's something small, I don't bother calling them. So in other words, you basically watch TV screens all day long. You were in this office when the murder took place, weren't you? Why do you say that? This is just a part-time job for me, and I can't operate the equipment, and I'm dumb. Even if it is part-time and you are dumb, you are still in charge of security here. Hey, give me a break. Don't try to pin the whole thing on me. That's not fair, Nick. I don't think you can expect someone like him to take any responsibility. Anyway, the point is, you were here that night, right? Psyche luck. Or several? Two. Oh no, I knew something smelled bad and it was the butts after all. Well, it's like I always say, that was then and this is now, okay? It looks like I'm going to have to break his psyche locks after all. Do I have the necessary stuff though? Hold on. No, I have to present the Megatron. I'll try, but I don't think I have what's required. On the night of the crime, were you working hard like you were supposed to? What, huh? Of course I was. Why wouldn't I have been? But didn't you sneak out of work just yesterday to go see Miss Delight? But that was that. And this is this. Is there any chance that you snuck out of work last night too? Well, it did say that at 1 AM he picked up this thing, right? At around 1 AM, he was in the KB security building. Maybe not sitting at his monitors though. Never, I didn't sneak out. I'll tell you what, I'll even bet you $1. $1, wow, now that's confidence. What's with that drenched in the rain puppy look on your face? Do you have evidence that I left my position, or are you just pulling my chain? He was not manning his station. This is the proof. This wallet, you know about this, right? I've never seen it before. Liar, you hadn't delivered this wallet to Miss Delight just yesterday. Give me a break, you can't expect me to remember every little thing that happens. Well, I do expect you to remember something that happened just yesterday. What time was it when you found this wallet? I guess it was around 1 in the morning on the first floor of our company building. And I guess the CEO's office is never on the first floor, it's more like at the top of the tower or something. 1 o'clock in the morning? That's right. In other words, Larry, at the time of the murder, yeah, well, that's another spelling error. You were away from the security guard office. Yeah, but there's something you didn't think about. What's that? My shift that day didn't start until 10 p.m. The murderer might have snuck in before then. What do you mean by that? If the murderer had snuck in before 10 p.m., then it wasn't my fault. It was the fault of the guy whose shift was before mine. Why do I have the feeling that he still doesn't get the seriousness of this? Listen up, Larry. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the killer snuck into the CEO's office after 10 p.m. during your shift. Is that the proof I was looking for? That one? If it's not that, then I don't know what it is. Nope. Oh boy, you really had me scared. I've never seen anyone look so relieved in my whole life. What's what? That little lamb that can't get to sleep look on your face. I guess I'm gonna have to rattle his cage a little bit more. The killer snuck into the CEO's office after 10 p.m. during your shift. I don't think I have enough evidence yet. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I should investigate and gather some more clues before I try again. Yeah, I didn't really expect to be able to break those 2 psyche locks straight away. Alright, I haven't looked around here yet. What's that on those screens, by the way? Those green screens. Why do I have the impression that this looks like screenshots from a old school JRPG or something? Something is written on this poster in fine print. The guard's 5 commandments. Wow, this sounds serious. Let's see what it says. Number 1, obey thy superior. Number 2, respect thy superior. Smile at thy superior. Number 4, salute thy superior. 5. Buy donuts for thy superior upon command. It's signed Wendy Oldbag, head supervisor. She's one tough old bird, let me tell you. Cross her and then you come face to face with her real genuine Reagan. Yeah, sounds scary, alright. Well, fortunately she's on vacation, that's why I'm so relaxed right now. Wait, am I getting drifting on that? Or it might not be calibrated right, perhaps that... Yeah, I don't know why, I think... Maybe not drifting, but I think that joystick isn't calibrated right. Hey Larry, it's your jacket, isn't it? That's right. Huh? Did you know you hung it right on top of some kind of lever? Yeah, sure. I was told to never ever touch that lever. She scowled me and huffed at me. Something terrible will happen if you do. Got it, Greenhorn? So why hang your jacket on such an important lever? Because it got me curious. If the jacket's weight pulls the lever down, that's what they call an accident. Doesn't the suspense just kill you? Don't you want to know what will happen, huh? It's true. It's killing me too. What about you, Nick? Yeah, but for a different reason. Wow, take a look at all these things here. Hey, Larry, what are they? Did you say Hey man, it's not like I have to know what they are to do my job. I always thought they were just some kind of decoration or something. Oh boy. How did this guy ever get a job here anyway? Let's see. What's this? Potato chips? No clues here. Those screens there show what's going on all over the building, everywhere. And it's my job to keep a steady eye on them, all of them. I wouldn't sound so smug if I were you. Can you watch regular TV on these too? If anyone would sit here and watch TV instead of working, it's Larry. Hey, Maya, I'm a pro, okay? Besides, you can't get regular TV on it. And how do you know that, Larry? Because you tried? Because that was my first bit of an investigation, if you know what I mean. I know what you're thinking. It was a professional investigation, alright? That's where he sits, I suppose. That's my workstation. Pretty cool, huh? I keep a steady eye on the monitors and use that mic for communicating. Look at all this equipment. It must be hard to operate. No biggie. I think there's an instruction manual somewhere in this room. Somewhere? Instruction manual? What are you going to do in an emergency? Well, I guess I'd start by calmly looking for the instruction manual. During that time, my partner, the old lady, would calmly look for her reading glasses. That's what us security professionals call teamwork. Even Maya and pros could run this place better. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? It's my partner's seat. Your partner? Well, that's what I call her. She's my superior, actually. Kind of a weird old lady. There's tea spilled all over that machine, you know. Oh, don't worry about it. Just the other day, I spilled some chocolate milk on mine. It still works fine, more or less. They really know how to build them, I guess. That's reassuring. I think that was everything, probably. Yeah, I've already examined everything. And I can't break those psyche locks just yet, so... Yeah, and here I think I've already examined everything as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff piled up over here. What are these rolls of paper stuck in the trash can? Theft of the Mazarin Stone, the Great Albatross strategy. Theft of the Immortal Goddess statue, the Great Knuckle Bomber strategy. Did the police even investigate this place? The police took a look at all that, you know. Really? Did they say anything? They said it wasn't important. Oh, don't worry about it, Nicky boy. After all, my Ronnie is just an amateur. Amateur or not, this is cool. Knuckle Bomber. How cool is that? Yeah, but I already checked these things. what do I have to do? Oh yeah, I haven't been here yet, I guess. At me, Detective Agency. Wow, this place is literally crawling with cops. What did you expect now that they know he was actually Mask the Mask? This must be incredibly embarrassing for them, don't you think? Yeah, I guess they're trying to make up for it by tearing the place apart. Hey, I just noticed. Gumshoe is nowhere to be seen. Well, he is a homicide detective. He's probably working on the murder case. Well, we just saw him, so... But wasn't he in charge of the Mask investigation all the way up to yesterday? Well, a murder case is a lot more exciting, isn't it? Say something like, there's nothing like a good murder case, pal. Points for the quality of the impression, but I'm not sure Gumshoe has bloodlust, Maya. I'm looking for something that I can interact with. Apparently nothing. Yeah, it seems like I can't do anything. Oh well. October 13, Lordly Taylor, main exhibition hall. Treasures of Korean exhibit is all ruined now. Maya, I'm sorry, it's just so sad. This was our big chance for everyone to learn about spirit channeling. Maybe I can cheer her up somehow. Well, now that we've got the sacred urn back, maybe they can reopen it. Sorry, I've got something stuck in my throat. It's really annoying. Okay, sorry. That would probably attract a lot of attention. Wow, that's brilliant, Nick. We could clean up and be filthy rich. Woohoo! Wow, that was surprisingly easy. Well, that thing is still there. Yeah, but she already said that. Yeah, those interactions are the same as last time. October 13, Lordly Taylor, basement warehouse. Oh, it's you, Mr. Wright. Miss Andrews. What's she still hanging around down here for? So, how's it going? What about the sacred urn? The urn? Oh, it's been taken care of already. What do you mean, all that? Taken care of? Do you mean it's been found? Yes. And in better shape than it was before, if you can believe that. Yes, it was brought in during the trial today. Wow, really? You really are the greatest, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright had nothing to do with it. It was Master Mask's wife that found it. Well, anyway, I'm so relieved. The Mask's identity. I just heard all about it on the news. So that detective was actually the thief all along. It looks that way right now. It's my fault. I'm the one who ended up hiring the Mask to guard treasures. Don't blame yourself. You were just doing your job. Hey, Nick. If she wants to apologize, you should let her. So, when was it that you hired Detective Atme again? About 20 days ago. And when was it that Master Mask's calling card arrived? That was about 10 days ago. So he sent the calling card to the very place he was hired to guard. I guess that's it then. Detective Atme must have really wanted the secret urn after all. I guess so. The night of the crime. What? So Master Mask's murdered someone as well? Well, that's how things look right now. Yes, but I thought that he was here stealing the urn at the time. Well, we're talking about a criminal mastermind, so anything is possible. Nick, let's get down to business already. On the night of the theft, did you notice anything suspicious about Detective Atme? No, I couldn't have. After all, he was hidden the entire time. I never even caught a glimpse of him. He claims that's the way he always operates. That's just what he says so he can have an alibi while he commits the theft himself. Yeah, I was caught in the crime scene photo dressed up as the Mask. The Mask's pretty well. I'm so glad that you got your sacred urn back. Yes, but there's still something that bothers me about it. What is it? I'm not exactly sure, but somehow the urn that came back seems different. Really? You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Miss Andrews? No, I don't know anything. Why would I? Or maybe she's the one who broke it and put it back together. But then it couldn't have been put back together after it had been, like, covered in splotches of pink ink or paint or whatever. Psyche locks. What do you think this means, Nick? It means the person that holds the secret to the mystery of the sacred urn is our very own Miss Andrews. Let me examine the place one more time. It looks to me like it's been dry for several days. There's something suspicious about this paint mark. The bottom left part of it is shaped oddly and it's shocking pink. I don't see how the color of the paint is in any way important. Because the same paint is on there. That pathetic looking wooden box. Ah, that's the box that had the secret urn in it. Don't touch it. There may be clues to the thief's identity on it. I worked so hard to take that box. To make that box. You made that for excuse for a box? I already read that yesterday. What's Master put to me? And I was so proud of it. Poor Maya. Maybe it had been better if Master Mask had taken the box too. But nobody is gonna notice that it has the shape that you can see in the paint at the other end of the room, and that it has the paint as well. Detective Atney said he got hit on the back of the head with this by the thief, but that was obviously a lie, because it turned out that Atney was a real thief. It's still hard to believe. Looks like Adrian feels really bad about it. I'm going to take full responsibility. I fixed that sword myself. I know I don't look it, but I have complete confidence that I can fix it right up. I promise I'll fix it so you never knew it was bent in the first place. Please be gentle with it. You think she's strong enough to bend it back into shape? That's the same description. It says organi. No, it doesn't, Nick. It says organized. You just can't see the last two letters. Yeah, well, I guess no one else could read it either, and blah blah blah, because it's the same text as yesterday. Can't I go inside that thing, by the way? Examine. Looks like the door to the actual storeroom. I can see lots of big boxes and stuff back there. I guess that's where they were keeping the sacred urn. Remember, Maya, Miss Andrews said we're not allowed in there. Yeah, okay. This is the camera and computer that Detective Atney set up, huh? That's what he said. And yet he still let it take a picture of it. That sounds pretty careless, right? I guess he's not as smart as he pretends to be. Or maybe he's actually a lot smarter than he pretends to be. The camera belonged to Lord Lee Taylor, so he knew he couldn't tamper with it. So then why would Master Mask allow that to happen? Yeah, it's a bit shady, and I was thinking about that earlier too. And yet he still let me take a picture. Whether I inspect the computer or the camera, it doesn't matter. It's the same outcome. Yeah, it's the exact same thing as the day before. The burger, spaghetti. Yeah, okay, okay, let me save and present the Magatama. I'm going to try to break those psyche locks, but I don't even know if I would be able to do it now. Take that! Miss Andrews, do you know anything about the secret urn? Do I know anything? I'm in charge of the entire treasure exhibit. The urn that was submitted before the court today, it's obviously not the same urn as before. Well, that's true. Maybe it isn't the same. It could be a fake. Fake? You're the one who said it wasn't the same, so that's the most obvious explanation. Do you have any evidence that the urn that was submitted at the trial was genuine? Well, it was broken in pieces. Well, Miss Andrews, see, look, it was a fake after all. Huh? I mean, your evidence is fake too, as expected. Oops, I guess this isn't going to help me much. So, have I convinced you, or do you have any evidence that the urn was that was submitted that the trial was genuine? I don't even have it anymore. Or can I go back to Kurain Village, perhaps? Wasn't that an option, to follow pearls there? No, I can't, apparently. How do I go to the CEO office? Ah, from here. Did I really examine everything? Hold on a minute. Should I present something maybe? Because I find it strange that he doesn't have a fourth option down there. So about this, huh? What's that? Hey, wait a minute, Maya. What's wrong? You copied that data without permission. Don't show it to him. He might get mad at us. So, what are you two whispering about? Oh, it's nothing. It's just my billfold. That's a pretty thick billfold you got there, pal. Now I really want you to show it to me. Sorry, it's hard to believe, but there's a limit to how much my brain can hold. I got 2 years. Yeah, I can see your eyes in the ears. Yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. But the jury's still out on the brain thing. Hey, Nick, if you have something to say, just come out and say it. This was his first heist, and I guess I underestimated him. I was sure I was going to get him, so I was careless and lost the info on the witness. By witness, do you mean the guard in this photo? Yeah, he and the detective worked together to try catching Mask the Mask. But he got away anyway. That guard, I got the weird feeling that I've seen him around lately. I can't ask about him. Detective Gumshoe about this right here. Yeah, okay, no. Presents this thing maybe? Or maybe, could it be? Detective Gumshoe, what about this person? Sorry, pal, to be honest, my head is so full right now it feels like it's gonna burst. The guy is a real puzzle if you ask me. Then maybe I should be asking you, do you know something about him? Why would I know something? Well, it sure sounded like you two knew each other from the way you acted today. It's Mr. Goto that acts like he knows Nick, not the other way around. Exactly, you'd think I'd remember someone like him. I'd still say the whole thing's a bit suspect. Detective Gumshoe, tell us more about Mr. Shane Bullard. That's Kane Bullard, not Shane Bluebard, pal. Oh yeah, the victim in this case just doesn't make much of an impression on me. Well, you were the victim up until... Ah yeah, you were the victim up until Mr. Bullard was found dead. Yeah, I couldn't make sense of that sentence. Yeah, and his body wasn't discovered until this morning. Anyway, we don't have enough information yet. Can you help us out? Sorry, I'm actually a little confused myself. For some reason, I'm just blabbing like an idiot right now. Okay, Nick, now is our chance to get more info about the victim, so hurry up and ask. Ah, there we go. Can you tell us some more about Mr. Bullard? Bullard? I never know how to pronounce it. He was the CEO of Kiwi Security, right? What kind of company is it anyway? Well, the company basically sends security teams out to buildings to guard them. Mr. Bullard must have had the chance to learn a lot of secrets doing this kind of work. Oh, and I don't know how to put this, but the guy was kind of a money grubber. Really? Me too. I just love money. I can never get enough. Please stop leaning in towards me like that. You aren't getting to my wallet. Anyway, it looks like he did some pretty shifty stuff to earn his millions. Oh, so that's my problem. I need to be shiftier. Let me go already. Apparently he was involved in selling trade secrets between rival companies. Oh, that's pretty dirty and underhanded. Yeah, oh, Kiwi Security used to head security operations against Master Mask. What, really? Yeah, and after screwing up so many times, the company's reputation really took a nosedive. So it really was Bullard who sent Ron the blackmail letter, huh? Will that information be any good to me anywhere else? Hold on. No, she's already got the four things, so unless, excuse me, but would you take a look at this? Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't the faintest idea. I guess I just don't get out enough. Oh yeah, if I show her the profile of the boss. Oh, I know him. This is Ronnie's boss, the CEO guy. Well, now he's an ex-boss. Someone killed him last night. Naturally, I know that. He was a pretty sly man, let me tell you. Oh, really? You bet he was. He made Ronnie chief of one of the security teams, but that was just so he could work him like a slave. Did Mr. Delight ever have a problem with Mr. Bullard himself? Even if he did, you think she'd ever tell you about it? Well, Ronnie isn't the type to complain about that kind of thing. I tried to get him to talk to me about work, but he never would. Oh, this is the guy who delivered Ronnie's wallet. He's got some issues, doesn't he? Let's just say his flirting style is pretty obvious, pretty stale too, actually. It's pretty sad when the only thing you remember about a man are his lame pickup lines. What's even more sad is said man probably believes in those like they're his lifelines. Looks like he blew it again, huh? I don't like this man one bit. He's had it in for my Ronnie from the very beginning. It's his fault that Ronnie is under suspicions of committing murder. Plus, he lobbed a coffee grenade at me. You looked pretty silly wearing that mug on your head like a birthday hat. Oh, I know. We can get him back tomorrow by returning fire with a milk grenade. Anyway, I have to save, and I'm gonna have to end the stream here, unfortunately. Like I said earlier, I only had 2 hours to stream, and my time is up, I'm afraid. Well, again, like I said yesterday, if I can get a few friends over, well, I would not be able to stream tomorrow night, but if I can't get them to come over, and, well, depending on what time I would be able to start and stop, because if I only get to stream for like an hour and not even an hour and a half or something, then that wouldn't be like very much worth it. But we'll see. We'll see tomorrow how it goes. But if I can, I will be back with more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Thank you guys for watching, those of you who were there and or lurking or whatnot. And I will be seeing you next time. Bye bye. Take care until then.